Good evening guys, it's 5:40 p.m. Today is Monday, August 21st, and so going into the day, right? See, this is the overall view, right? I'm still running this view from last 2 months, right? Even though price was way higher, I kept this statement, see 34 and actually 43.50, right? So buyers are still there overall, but sellers are active from the lower time frame. So we will favor both sides today because of the way it closed on Friday. Assume, and that was a good call, right? Otherwise I would have said, by looking at the way price was going down crazily from last entire week, right? Looks like sellers were in control, right? But otherwise I would have said stick with sellers, right? I didn't use that statement, there was a reason for it. That's why I said stick with both sides, because of the way it closed on Friday. Now assume above at Friday's closing some buyers will be there to defend, right? So Friday's closing and above, at or above, some buyers will be there, right? Now below that area some sellers will try to keep it below. Preferred sellers area is a good area for sellers to keep it below. See, so this statement, why I put it, because that is the area. As long as price is below, sellers will try to keep pushing down, but at the same time this area, if their buyers are pushing it higher, then price is in a gridlock between buyers and sellers. Now break above, which is this area, okay, break above Friday's closing, NQ will hit 0620, 100, 200, okay. So it achieved this. That is what I said in Discord, that 950 and this are the target for the buyers, and ultimately it went there, at the end, and that is what always it does. And it becomes difficult, to trade later in the day to just get to that target, So, but downside is limited to 14,500 or so. ES will be straightforward level to level, right? And these are the levels: 0811, 4382, 4368, 4350, 4285, 45, 44, 20 is not there because Discord folks knows the 20, Dream number 737, 774, price did not get there. Otherwise I would have tried long there, but it did not get there in the morning. So now Friday's closing, preferred sellers area, So now let's go here, right? So Friday's closing, this area. See this area, it's important, right? Above, buyers active, right? Preferred sellers area, which is 11 to 06, correct? Below that some sellers will try to push it lower. So we'll move it down 06, 11. So at least you know the picture, right? So that was the pre-market note. Now NQ, Friday's closing area was somewhere around here. So NQ was already above it, right? So buyers will be active there, right? Now I was looking for a price to come down here. Then I can go long here in the morning, but damn thing did not come down. It held this area, and then it just shoots up, right? Same thing here, it even damn thing just held this area and shoots up, right? Now there is no point going long this aggressive here. If it comes down here of the open, then I would have considered going long at that point in time, but it did not come of the open here or here, so no longs. Now I know sellers will be active here, right? Because sellers will try to push it lower. So when it touched here, no shorts, came down again here, right? And then again buyers bought it. So this was not a long setup, neither this. Why? Because internals were not supporting this idea. See that? Momentum was below zero, 100%. This entire move, up move, is not sustainable. That's why we didn't take the long. However, I tried to take a shorts in NQ, reactionary shorts, which worked out. Here is the one which I got, like two of them. So in Discord we were talking, so somewhere around here and here, I got the two shorts basically. And so ES I did not touch it, because it's difficult to trade ES nowadays. So I did not touch ES, but I used ES. This information here, see, it went up, and look at this damn thing. Look at this damn thing, right? So internals were not supporting. It's just I was looking for ES to pause. This is where it went up, final shot, right? Then it came down like this. See, this is where sellers jump on board. This is the trigger point below 4400, right here. Now the question is, then in this code I said, what, come to this and decide. Most likely if it comes there, it will go through it. So I would not go long here. So that is what I said in Discord. Don't go long. Same thing for NQ. I said don't go long then. Because these guys were not supporting the idea of gap fill and bounce. And here I said some fools would be buying it right here. At the same time when I said look at this, some fools are buying it, but it will not work and price will go through it. So yes, it held it here. You can argue it, it went for 5 point, but this is not the meat. Then you can use this, to short here and go lower into preferred buyers area, as a target. Same thing in NQ. At the same time you can use all this area. See, we discuss in this thing in NQ also, that if rejection from here, it's a trap. So these things we discuss clearly in Discord, that this is a trap. Do not go long. Let them go long. Most likely it will go higher about this area at that time, 853. I said it will go to 865, 870, somewhere in between, and then it will go down. Trap them, most likely their stops are here. It will go through it, and that's where the shorts were, and it finally went through it, right? Now there were shorts here also. When it went through this, people are trapped here, right? On the way back up, you can short it, target this preferred buyers area or Globex low. Okay, same thing here. When ES hits Globex low, ideally it should have tanked. Okay, but we don't want to be greedy because ES already below morning low, NQ was not below morning low. See here, divergence. So you don't want to be greedy here. You have to take a profit, scale, Then ES, NQ went up, ES went up one more time to this area. So remember this closing area? It's important for buyers, above buyers, below sellers here, right? So now price is below it. You can short again here if you want to, fail breakout. But one short is fine, Then when you take a profit here, right? Then price went higher, came down. Now you don't want to do anything here. Ideally you don't want to see one bounce here, like from here to here and from here to here. See, this bounce you don't want to see it because everything is down. It should have gone here, right? But let's say it bounced, right? But now there is no long, there is no short. You already used this area, right? Then it came down at this time. The idea is it should go through it, but doesn't mean you short here, because now see here you can take reactionary long regardless of AD being down, because now this is the key area, and price took too much time, right? So an ES, if it falls here, like let's say here, right, then you can take a long. But here first time you should scale your short, not long. Okay, even though it's a preferred buyers area, price is exhausted there, AD is not supporting the idea, and momentum. Then what happened? Then this bounce happened, which was not supposed to happen, right? That's the key. Then it happened, and look at this, price sliced through this area because it's already reacted here 2 times. Third time didn't do it, right? Now this area can act as a support. Now at this time, see, look at the momentum was also now picking up the space, right? Now what should happen? Now the idea is, since it went through this area, buyers will be there. And look at this, see this, held it, right? But now you cannot go long here. See, even though it's a good area to go long now, but this damn thing, was not supporting that idea. So even though you know, but you can do anything. That buyers are active, but you can't do anything. Then what happened? Then this area, morning area, right? That was acted as a resistance here and support both, right? Then this area also acts as a resistance now. Broken support turn into resistance, right? So see my point? Even though if you go long on the way up, like every 2-3 point, there is a resistance. Same thing in NQ I said, I wouldn't go long because I can see resistance at every 10 points all the way through 890. So I said if it goes above 890, then I would start looking for long. I will not look for long here. So because then I know it wants to go to 15,000 and 950, so then I have a room, right? So but then so here, right? So and then I also said in Discord, when you see the move, you want to see all this area turning into support again, 860, 890, 880, and you can see it, all this area turn into support every 10 point. See, 880 reacted, 860 held it, went up, 890 reacted, 880 held it, went above 890, 890 held as a support. See, so you can take all this long because now it was in the process of going to 15,000 and 950, the way we discuss in Discord, So but the ES you cannot trade it because this is the area, it has to go above it, So that was the problem with ES today, So even though we know, but we can't touch it, Now then finally here I said it's a decision time. So where here it went through it, right, at 11, this is where you can go long aggressively. 1508, right here, which is 1508. NQ was right around here, somewhere around this 980 area, that long you can take. But now it's too close, 980, to 15,000, 20 point. What are you going to get here, right? So there is no long here, it's so aggressive now, and then considering internals, the AD, right, see, it's still diverging, see that. So price can fall anytime, that is what I said in Discord. At the end it can fall, like crazily. But so there is no long here now, here also there is no long, even though there is a long, but you have to avoid it, So literally there is no long here, even though it looks good, but there is no long, So some days are like this, but the shorts were good because it was in line, and this kind of day will happen, when price just goes and goes, and then internals are not supporting because they are coming from higher time frame support. See this support and NQ, this support. That's why, so it will happen, but some days we have to just let it go. Now the key is tomorrow what happens to this two area is important. Okay, see these are the areas for ES. One box, second box, third box. That's it. These are the levels, for tomorrow or overnight even. And that be all for today.